Here's an unconventional way to improve at SEO. Study user experience principles instead of traditional SEO best practices. Honestly, half of my success with SEO, I would just attribute that to proper UX principles. It is so important. And so on this episode of the podcast, I'm sitting in a lovely cafe as I record this. I'm going to be sharing a bunch of user experience principles to think about when you are building your sites, putting together blog pages, putting together templates, putting together bottom of funnel SEO landing pages. The user experience principles that I believe in, that I think are cool, and I think you're going to like them as well. And by the way, why do you even want to have good user experience principles? Why is it even important? One, pogo sticking is a thing in SEO. If somebody goes to your page from search and they return to the search results, that is seen as a very negative signal to Google and other search engines. Two, if you have good UX and people stay on your site or people are using your content, you're also more likely to get shares that could result in backlinks. Repeat visitors are great for search engine optimization. At the end of the day, you're not just trying to do great SEO, you're trying to create a repeat brand that people visit over and over again, that people want to do business with. This is really what gets shares. This is what gets brand mentions. This is how you grow a company and grow SEO. User experience, clearly very important. All right, number one, there's this term, clarity over cleverness. Some people will try to be clever with their copy and their design, but it's way more important to actually be clear. So an example of this is one of my favorite newsletters. It's the first 1000 newsletter from Ali Abulata. And he put out just this very short newsletter about cute copy. He shared this copy experiment from the app Any.do. And Any.do A/B tested the copy for their paywall page from Boss Up, Go Premium to just Premium. The first one was cute copy. The second one was clear copy. And you know what won out? It was just Premium. The one that was clear, that's the one that won out. So you want to be as clear as you can. You want visitors from search to immediately understand what your page or post is about. And you do this with your headlines, with your visuals, with your hierarchy. Clear messaging reduces pogo sticking and increases conversions. And by the way, I did this myself with my SEO course, Compact Keywords. My original landing page was a lot more cute copy, and then I just made it crystal clear. I said, this is an SEO course that focuses on getting customers with SEO through conversion-based landing pages, not outdated blog posts. Whereas my first one, I think it was just like do SEO that gets customers. No, it was literally do SEO that converts well and requires less work and requires less money. That was my first hero copy with Compact Keywords. And I changed that to be just so clear, and conversions skyrocketed. So be clear over clever. Be clear over being clever. I talk about information architecture a lot on this show. It's really helpful if you have interactive menus, if you have category structures that help both users and search engines, so things like uses or solutions or services. Just today, I saw someone targeting keywords around tours. They have a tour guide company, and their hub folder, their category structure was /book. And within this /book hub page was their bottom of funnel SEO landing pages. And it made it really clear when you looked at the URL structure, made it crystal clear. Good information architecture improves crawlability and helps users understand what the pages they're on is about. And because it's helping users, it's also helping search engines. Also, something else, there's this principle called progressive disclosure. So when you're doing information architecture, like with your menus or with your footer, you want to show details as needed, but not all at once. You want to keep things very simple. I'm going to talk more about this in a little bit. Consistency, extremely important. You want your design patterns, your button styles, your link treatments. You want them to feel familiar across pages. If you're constantly switching styles, it could be difficult for users to understand what to click on or where to go across pages and posts. In SEO, headings like H1, H2, H3, they're talked about a lot. But if you actually think about the purpose of clear headings, it's for users to be able to scan posts and pages easier. So you want to use proper headings and proper sizes. With your writing, you want short paragraphs, you want bulleted lists, you want more white space. So this helps users scan content and parse content If everything is super cluttered, people are likely to bounce, or they're unlikely to get as much out of the content. There are strategic ways to do clutter well, but those are strategic and hard to pull off. Generally, you want something that is clear and uncluttered. I had Cyrus Shepard recently on the show, the legend in SEO, Cyrus Shepard. He was on episode 807 of this podcast, Link Building in 2025, First 10 Links, Linkable Assets, and HCU Wins. Such a great episode. One of the things that he talked about was being a quality rater for Google. And he was required to rate pages using his smartphone and not his desktop. He actually had to visit pages using his smartphone and not his desktop. So when you're doing user experience, when you're doing user interface, when you're making your templates, when you're making your sites, think first about mobile and then about desktop. For one of my companies, I had the head of design at Grammarly doing our UI UX, and he started first with mobile. All of his designs were mobile first. And then once we approved them, then he made the desktop versions. Start with mobile first. That designer, by the way, his name is Alexander Filinsky. Shout out to him. He is awesome. He taught me so much about UI UX. But yeah, so what does mobile first design actually mean? It means you have thumb-friendly layouts, you have images that are loading fast, use WebPs, compress your images, use big targets to actually hit them and tap them. When I was designing the interface for compact keywords, that's one of the things that I did is I tested it a lot on mobile. I made sure that the icons and the links and the copy were big enough on mobile. Don't just test on desktop, test on mobile or start with mobile. I talk about page speed a lot on this show, but not page speed using Core Web Vitals or webpagetest.org, which is actually really good, but actually testing it yourself using incognito on different browsers, using VPNs, having friends in different locations, family in different locations, test things. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen tools rate a site as fast, but actually for the users, it was really slow. Or all the time, fast sites get rated as being slow. You want to test things. You want to test things yourself, and you want other people you know to test things. If a page takes too long to load and the intent is a little bit off, people will bounce. Now, if the intent is matched perfectly, people will actually be a lot more patient because they believe they're going to get what they want. But if the intent is a little bit off, for example, page title isn't exactly what a user searched. It's a little bit different, and the user is hoping that they're going to get their answer from your page, but it takes too long to load, they're going to bounce. Test your page speed. Make your site accessible. Use a big font size. When you're writing your alt text, think about it from this perspective. If the image didn't load, would this alt text accurately describe this image and the purpose of this image to the users of the page? That's what you want your alt text to do. You want it to be, if it doesn't load, that it accurately describes the image and how it fits into the rest of your content. Something else, don't make your pop-ups appear too soon. That happens all the time. Have a delay when your pop-ups appear, or make them pop up halfway through the content. I say this so much, but actually think about search intent. Users are coming to your page or to your post with intent, and you want your user experience to help them complete what they're trying to complete as fast as possible. That will actually make them more likely to stay on your website. So if their intent is informational, then your articles are really scannable, as I talked about before. If the intent is transactional, you give a call to action button above the fold before users start scrolling. There's this thing in user experience design called Fitts Law, and Fitts Law states that the time it takes to move a selection tool, like a mouse cursor or finger, to a target is a function of both the distance to the target and its size. Larger, closer targets are easier and faster to acquire, minimizing errors and effort. So make your call to actions or your navigation easy to reach and interact with. You don't want to have to scroll a ton to get to a button or move your mouse a lot to get to a button. You want things to be right there in the places where users would expect. And the last thing, how are you handling errors? I made an entire episode about how you should, for SEO, you should not redirect 404 pages to your homepage. You should actually have a dedicated 404 page with useful articles, useful links, maybe a call to action to your newsletter or to your products. 404s that basically give helpful guidance instead of dead ends. That was episode 755 of this show. by the way. Are you misusing 404 pages? Google says stop. Custom 404 pages, they preserve SEO link juice and they improve recovery paths. Basically, the principles of SEO, it gets people in the door, but user experience, good user experience, invites them to stay on your site, to consume your content, to convert, to share your links, to not bounce back to the search results, to not pogo stick. If you think about SEO from a user experience perspective, the results you get will be so much better. So that's what I wanted to share with you on this episode of the podcast. A lot of what's covered in Compact Keywords, my SEO course, is doing SEO from a user experience perspective. It's just so important and it works so well. So if you want to learn more about that, that's at compactkeywords.com. The testimonials, the video testimonials on the page give a lot more information. They say it all. I would just totally recommend checking out the landing page, compactkeywords.com. And that is all for episode 813 of The Edward Show. This is my daily digital marketing podcast, 813 days in a row doing this show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Think about your user experience. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.